Tasmania. Just doing a few little housekeeping things while we wait for people to join, and making sure that my volume's okay, that everything's streaming properly. Oh, it looks like it's streaming there. Volume looks okay. Hang on, make that a little bit less noisy. I'm going to share it over to our group, which is what I need to do these days because of because of Facebook's changed its rules. So I'll just head over there, make sure it's shared. Things you have to do just to get online these days. Excuse me, I'm a little bit croaky today. Hopefully that won't be too much of a problem as we go. Making sure that's shared over there. Yep, it has. That's excellent. I might watch it there for the comments. Goodness me. Anyway, we're in. We're done. Everything has shared everywhere. It looks like I'm live to YouTube and I'm live to Facebook and I'm over there both ways. Excellent. Hey, as I say, welcome to the Craft Room. Jump on, say hi, tell me where you're watching from. Great to see how far and wide our little crafting sessions go. A couple of things I wanted to show you or tell you about before we start crafting today. Just some quickie things just while people are joining. If you're watching on replay, thanks for joining me on replay as well. A couple of things that you need to be aware of. The 10% off die bundles and cutting machines ends on the 30th of June. So that's only, oh my goodness, what day is it? 4 days away. So after the weekend, that 10% off sale ends. If you've got your eyes on a die bundle or a new cut and emboss machine, they're all 10% off. And for the bundles, it's an extra 10% off because you already get 10% off buying them as a bundle. So it comes to, it ends up being 20% off the bundles, which is really, really great. So as I say, that ends on 30 June. If you feel that you want to check that out, spend over $75 this month, and you also get the PDF with videos for my Frames and Flowers product class absolutely free as well. So that's a little bonus if you spend $75 this month on your crafty supplies. We have another. We have our bonus days coming back in July. So that's one of our favourite, promotions of the year. You basically, for every $90 you spend, this is Australian dollars we're talking about, for every $90 you spend from the 3rd of July to the end of July, you'll get a $9 coupon code. And then when you place your order in August, you can use those coupon codes and cash in your $9 coupons. So you spend $90 in, say, example, $90 in July in a single order. You get a $9 coupon code, which you can take off an order in August. Spend $180, you'll get 2 coupon codes, so you get $18. $270, you get 3, so you get $27 and as you go. So it's every multiple of $90 you get a $9 voucher. So coupon code to use. So when you do get your coupon codes, make sure you keep them safe. You save your emails or print them off or write the coupons down or take photos of them, because you will need to pop them into the orders in August to redeem them. And just one last thing I wanted to show you, and I've got this happening at the moment. I've already had a couple of lovely ladies take this course so far this year. And I think they've both had a great time and learnt a lot. My introduction to card making course, it's back up and running with brand new products and brand new cards and brand new designs. So basically it's everything you need to make 10 cards, going from really easy, simple stamping right through to a great fun fold. 10 cards with everything you need, except for a few basic basic tools, which I tell you about in the videos, for $97 plus postage. So the $97 actually just covers the stuff you get from Stampin' Up, the inks and the dyes and those sorts of things, and everything else you basically get from me for no additional cost. So that's a really good course if you're watching videos and you just don't know where to start. You'd love to get your hands on some product and start making cards. my Introduction to Card Making course, I think, is a great one for you. So anyway, reach out. If any of those things interest you, you've seen, please reach out and let me know, and I'm happy to give you some more details. Okay, speaking of upcoming things, this little bundle that I'm showing you today is an online exclusive, and it will become available to customers also on the 3rd of July. I think it's the 3rd of July, 3rd or the 5th. But anyway, I think it's the 3rd. Anyway, early July, first week of July, you'll be able to get your hands on this one. Of course, if you join my team, you can get it as part of your starter kit earlier than that and become a demonstrator as well, which has a whole lot of great things that go with it. It's called the Changing Leaves bundle. It has the stamp set, which is lovely, and the dies, which are, go together to make a bundle. But the star of the show, I'm just going to take my watch off because it's going to clunk and annoy me. The star of the show, I think, is the hybrid embossing folder. And this is the reason I actually bought this one. I mean, leaves, yeah, sort of nice, but I love a good hybrid embossing folder. And if you haven't seen Stampin' Up's hybrid embossing folders before, I'll just explain to you what they actually are. If I can get it out of the bag. You get your normal embossing folder. So there it is. You can see it's got the leaves there. Nice little embossing folder in its own right. But then you pop it together with the dies, and that's where the hybrid thing comes in. So this is the die, and you can see it cuts out the 3 main images from the stamp set. It actually fits into the, and I've always got to remember the right way to put it. It fits into the, that's it, fits into the embossing folder, so you can cut and emboss at the same time. So you pop your paper in there, put it through your cut and emboss machine, which we'll do in a moment. I'll show you how to do it. And then you get the cut and embossed images at the same time. So it saves you fiddling around sort of positioning them separately if that's what you want to do. So anyway, that's the hybrid nature of this little bundle, which I absolutely love. And I will show you how to do that in a one stroke fairly soon. Actually, we might do it first, but I'll show you the card we're going to make together here. This is the one we're going to make. I've got the autumn colours happening there, as you can tell. Our beautiful pecan pie. What was it? Pecan? Oh no, hang on, wait a minute. It was Calypso Coral. I can't remember what colour it was. Yeah, Calypso Coral, I think. No, not Calypso Coral. Hang on, bear with me. I've got to work out what that little colour there is. It is Cajun Craze. I was totally wrong. Cajun Craze is the colour on the front there, that strip of cardstock. But I've used Cajun Craze. I've got it here. Gosh, I'm a silly Billy. Lost Lagoon, Crushed Curry and Cajun Craze are the 3 colours I've used on this particular card. I'm using the embossing folder, as you can see. I've got a couple there that I've used the hybrid nature, and I've used the stamps as well. So there we go. So we'll make this one together. The first thing I'm going to do is this little piece of twine here. I've coloured that Cajun Craze because I didn't have one that was exactly the shade I wanted. So I'm going to do that first because it does take a wee while to dry, and I get it all over my fingers if I don't do it up front. So I give it time to actually the ink to dry. I'm going to use the this is the sort of vanilla sort of cream twine from the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. It comes with a white and a couple of beiges and a black, so it's really handy. It's really a craft room staple. But as I say, I didn't have a Cajun Craze twine, which is what I wanted for this one, so I thought I would just colour some with the ink. And how I did it to save my poor fingers getting absolutely mucky, which still happens anyway. I've got my ink there. I tried it with the blend, but I just couldn't get the blend to it's easy enough with nice thick ribbons to use your blends, but with the twine being so much thinner, I couldn't get it to blend properly. So I've just grabbed at my blending brush, which we're going to use anyway, and I'm just rubbing that on the ink pad like so, just to transfer that colour over. And I just need enough for a little bow, which is that sort of distance there. Anyway, so I've made myself a Occasion Craze coloured twine. As I say, while it's wet, it's going to go everywhere, so I'm just going to pop that aside to dry over here. We do actually have coming in the September catalogue. I found these, I'd got them from pre-order because we used the bundle in Creativity Now at the weekend. We have a twine, a natural tones linen thread, and it's got one there that would be perfect. But as I say, that doesn't come available to customers till September, so I thought we'll keep that one aside for a later video. Okay, so while that dries, it's going to take a few minutes. Clean that off there. Let's get on with showing you this embossing or hybrid embossing folder. So the way you can quite easily, if you wanted to do it manually, so say you just wanted one leaf, say you just wanted this leaf, you can grab the stamp set, you can stamp it off, pop it through the die to just cut it out, and then pop it through the embossing folder by itself. But if you wanted all three of them, there is quite an easy way to do that. So you can position them exactly the right positioning on your design, on your cardstock, so you can die cut and emboss at the same time, which is basically what this little baby is designed for. So what you need to do is grab a piece of cardstock, just a scrap of cardstock, doesn't have to be any particular colour, and using the dies, just cut them out. So you need a piece of cardstock that is big enough to cut out all three of those dies. So I've already done that there. So as you can see, just a piece of scrap, gorgeous grape, cut them all out. I think that was about 6 inches by 5 inches, that piece. I could have probably gone a wee bit smaller, but I didn't really want to cut it too fine. So you cut out the die there and you get that. So this is our template. So what then you need to do is grab your stamping platform, something fairly large. If you use a stamping platform, grab that out, or the big F block. In this case, you're going to need a block, any big enough to cut to fit all three of the stamps in that configuration. Then you basically, I don't need that out here, grab our stamps. We need to pop, oh, I'm so keen they've come out to meet me. Grab your stamps and pop them into the position that the template is telling you they need to go in. Okay, so we've got the big 5 leafy one there, and according to our template, it's going to sit in there. So you just pop it in so it fits in the little gap. We'll grab the other one. So you do, this is a way of making of using these multiple stamp things. You also, if you've got those punches, I don't know if you've seen the punches where they punch out more than one thing. I've just seen one here. So say we've got the punch there that cuts out the little car and the wheel and the everything. So you can use this sort of method to create, to sort of do those in one go as well. If that makes sense, rather than punching each individual element separately and wasting cardstock. Okay, so that's the positioning. I've got a hair. That's the positioning of our 3 stamps. So I'll grab my big block now, bring it down and over, make sure all 3 of them are on properly. And then hopefully my block is more sticky than my glass plate. Come on. And they will stick to the block in the right position. There we go. I was a bit worried then because my glass plate was quite sticky and the block wasn't quite sticky enough to attract them away. There we go. So that is the 3 of them in the position that you need to die cut and emboss them at the same time. And when we get that far, you'll see what the advantage of that is. So, okay, so let's use that now to create the die cuts that we need for our card. So I'm going to use the Cajun Craze there as the main colour. I'm going to grab some. I'm using the Very Vanilla here because basically I didn't want it to be a stark white. I needed it to be sort of a more warm setup. I'm going to grab, what have I got? That's that one. Here's my card base. Is that my layer? Yes, that's my layer. I don't want to use that. I'll use this piece. It just seems a bit big. I might cut it down. I'm going to use my Cajun Craze to stamp the leaves, and you'll see how pretty the images are once I've done it. But the Cajun Craze is quite a strong colour, and I didn't want them to be too vivid. So I'm going to stamp off once. So I've just got a scrap of cardstock here. I'm going to stamp off once. It actually went down, that jumped. I might do it again. I think I've taken too much off. Anyway, let's do it again. Stamp off once, just once, Julianne. That's why our F blocks are quite big. They can be quite interesting to manipulate. And then I'll stamp this just the once off. Okay, there we are. So it's a lot softer. You can see where I've been stamping off on this piece of design, of this piece of cardstock, that it's really dark colour. But I wanted to go something a little bit softer, so that's perfect there. Might just give these a little bit of a clean off. Okay, so I thought now I'd give these a little bit of colour. So I'm going to use my blending brushes. So I'll bring back that blending brush that I was using before. My blending brush, and I'm going to use the Cajun Craze and the crushed curry. So the Cajun Craze is going to be, it's a good thing I've got a fairly large piece of cardstock here because I can take the heaviness off that colour. I just want a little bit of colour in the heart of each of them, in the base of the leaves. Yeah, it ended up being quite dark, that one, but anyway. And then swap to the crushed curry. Going with the autumn colours here. I know here in Australia we're actually in winter now, but if your garden's anything like me, the leaves are still clinging to the autumn leaves, are still clinging to the trees, so there's still plenty of autumn colour around. Okay, there we are. So I've just coloured those around, just given them some darker tones towards the stem, and then some of the Cajun curry colour towards the end. Now, I'm going to cut this piece of cardstock down because it's going to be far too big to get through the cut and emboss machine. And after you've cut these a few times, you realise just how much excess you need to leave to make a successful cut. There we are, hopefully that's enough. Grab the dies and the embossing folder. So I found it easier to pop the dies in first. Come on. And they don't click into place, but they do sort of, once you've got them, they sort of slide into place and then are quite solid. They won't, if I flip that over, it'll fall out. So it's not actually clicking into place permanently, but it does rest quite happily in its little spot. So then I need to bring those in like that. Turn it over. And then I just wiggle these around until they're actually in the right spot for the die and the embossing folder. Just take a little bit of wiggling. There we are, that's about right. Oh, and don't move it. If you can get away with it, don't move it. There we are. So you see we've got them in the right spots there. That's because we've stamped them in the right spots. They're actually in the right spots for the dies as well. So that's a nice little fix for that. Grab my cut and emboss machine and my embossing plate. Oh, banging in things as I go. There we go. Make sure that hasn't moved at all. No, that's pretty good. Pop that through. Now there's a lot more to this die, this embossing folder, than just using it with the dies. You can just emboss normally as you would with a normal embossing folder or normal cardstock. And there we are. So we've got all three of our little images, our little leaves, all sort of nicely embossed there and die cut at the same time. So saves yourself a lot of effort and time doing those. If you're going to be using all three of them in your card, of course you don't have to use all three. Okay, so while we've got the embossing folder, apologies, I just bumped my microphone then. While we've got the embossing folder out, I have for our card, I have a 2-inch by or 2-inch wide piece of cardstock I'm going to use in that card itself. So I'm just going to pop that through while I've got it here. Just pick somewhere that's got a nice group of leaves. We'll pop that through as well, just to finish our little card. And I think while I've got my machine, so there you can see we've embossed that. That's really nice. Nice little clear shape. And while we've got our machine out, I think I also need a circle. We'll use this. I need a stitched circle as well while we're here. I'll just use that. Grab that. Bear with me. I think it's this one. So this is just this one of the smaller circles from the stitch circle dies. Yep, that's it. That's the one. Oh no, it's not. I actually used the die from the dies, this circle here. Thought it looked a bit different. So there's actually in the dies, you've got some sentiment boxes as well, a little circle and a couple of ovals, long ovals as well as some other leaves, which I will need as well. So that's the one. That's the one I'm using. So we'll grab my plate, a little scrap there. And I do need the other leaves as well. So I've got a little scrap of, at least I did have, with me, they were here, everything was here. A little scrap of, another scrap of the Cajun Craze, and a little scrap of Lost Lagoon. And we're going to grab the dies again and cut out that little circle and the couple of leaves for our card as well. We'll take that one, the blue, take that one, in the, is that just it? 1, 2, what else did I have? Oh, and that one in the blue as well. So I need to do that one twice. Do it in the Lost Lagoon. Bluey green. Okay, so there's one set of leaves. So that's like a cute little skeletized double set of leaves there, and we'll do this one. This one's in the Cajun Craze. That one, and there's our little circle in vanilla. And then I want that single leaf in Lost Lagoon as well. Okay, just forgive me while I did all that. There we are. So we've got two of the single leaves, one in Lost Lagoon, and where's the other one gone? Oh, there. One in Lost Lagoon and one in Cajun Craze. We've got a double leaf in Lost Lagoon, and we've got a sweet little circle in Vanilla. That's all we need, I think. Plus we've got our cute leaves that we've already used cutting the cut and emboss machine. So that's all we need for our card there, I think. Okay, so this is the parts for our card. We'll pop those aside for a sec. Get rid of all the bits and bobs. Now, actually I'll put these away as well. I don't want to have everything lost. I'm going to grab those individual stamps now. We're going to stamp on our card base. Rid of that, rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, so now this particular card with the stamping, you could actually do it straight onto the card base if you wanted to, although I know that freaks a lot of people out. So what I've got is a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, which is the same size as my card, so 4 1/8 by 5 1/2. And we're just going to grab our three main colours and our three main stamps. I won't do them on the big one because that will cause an issue with me. I'll transfer them to smaller stamp blocks now. And stamp them on our card stock. Okay, so this little piece of embossed cardstock here is going to sit across the centre of our card. So I'm going to stamp our little images so that they poke above and below that piece of cardstock. You could actually, if you were going to do it, grab it there, pop it in the place where you want it to be, grab a pencil. I've got something very fine. I've got a pencil. I usually always have a pencil. Where's my pencil gone? Oh, I haven't got a pencil, just use a pen. Just grab a pencil, I suggest, and just mark the top and the bottom of that so you know where your little images need to be in relation to that when the time comes to pop it in place. No point doing it and then finding that you've put all the best bits in the middle there and you can't see them. Okay, so let's start. We'll use the crushed curry and our cute little, I suppose that looks a bit like a maple leaf, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's say that's what it is. So we'll use the crushed curry and the maple leaf. Put that there. There we are. We'll swap to the Cajun Craze. And this one. There we are. And then back to our Lost Lagoon. I'll use this other one here. Now this is quite a large stamp and I don't want to use it all. So I'm just going to ink up like the top two sort of leaves. Because obviously if it's so big it's going to sort of, if I did it all, it'd take up the whole thing, which we don't want. I'm just going to do the top two leaves there. And that's only a part one, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be covered by our little, little central piece anyway, so that's okay. Here we are. Looks a bit weird, I know. Stay with me. Just give these a bit of clean. Here we are. Okay, so if you can imagine now we're bringing that central piece in and positioning it there so you can see there's a gap in the middle and we have our leaves sticking out either side, which is really nice. I think that's enough. You know me, it always ends up being too much. So what I'll do is I'll bring in our little die cuts as well. So this is our little leaf that we die cut. I'm going to pop that in and behind as well. And then I don't want the full one of these, so I'll just cut off some leaves from this one and use those. I don't want to use too much. I don't think I need that one. I might pop that one just down here. And up here. This one down here. Just getting them in the right spot is half the battle for me. So once I've got them in the right spot, I'll be able to stick everything down. There we are. So that's sort of the look we're going for. I haven't used this one. No, I think that's too much. I'll leave that one off. I'll use it on a different card. So that's sort of what we're going for there, with just some real life leaves or some die cut leaves sort of sticking out as well. So it just adds to the interest, to the coverage of our card. I may use one more. Let's just use one. Let's just use a little one. Put that in there. Yeah, that works. Okay, so that's the look I'm going for there. Okay, then we're going to bring our little sentiment in there, and we'll use our thread that we've coloured to give it a little bit of oomph. Okay, so let's do all this. Going to, how did I do that? Just going to glue this piece of cardstock down, and just going to glue it, and I'm going to just glue it in along the middle so that then I can bring the other little cards, the other little pieces in and under. We've just popped some glue down the bottom there, and everything else can fit underneath. So just like that. Across the middle. And you can add some glue dots or something underneath if you want to stick it down permanently later on, once everything's in place. Let's add these. And then down the bottom. Last one. There we are. Okay, happy with that. Yeah, so we've got sort of like a patch of autumn leaves all sort of falling down around everything. There we are. Okay, so last little bit we need to do, we'll grab our twine that we coloured before. So hopefully now I can rub my fingers around it and it's not going to get, could grab, if I was in a hurry, I'd grab my heat tool and just dry that off, but that's okay. It's handleable. I can handle it now. Doesn't matter, it all comes off in the wash. Just make myself a little bow, just a little bow. I didn't want too much. trim some off with that. So this is our Cajun Craze coloured twine. Just a little bow there, trim it off. I still did get it on my hands, didn't quite leave it. And the trouble is now I'm going to transfer it to everything unless I'm really careful. Let's get that off. Wipe it on my pyjamas. There we go. Now, so let's stamp our little sentiment. So it's got some cute sentiments in it. It's obviously meant for a sort of an autumn in the Northern Hemisphere, sort of Thanksgiving type theme. But they're quite nice. Thank you is the one I'm going to use today. Here for you, a little note to brighten your day. You're amazing in every single way, and I couldn't have done it without you. So there's some nice ones there, ones you won't get in many other stamp sets. I'll use the thank you, as I said. Nice to have little thank you cards for people that do nice things for us. Our Cajun Craze ink. Pop it on there. Then I'm going to I'll put that on some dimensionals. I don't think I did in my original, but I think I will for this one. Excuse me, the throat's going. Just some dimensionals, making sure I don't get ink everywhere. On the front. Grab our little bow. Now, because I've inked it up, I did notice with the original bow that the ink dots wouldn't stick to it. I usually would stick a bow down with ink dots, but because it was still slightly wet, I had to pop a little bit of glue there, and I'll do that with this as well. So just a little bit of touch of glue there will attach that where the ink dots may not, but I'll just be very careful with that and not touch it for a few seconds. Okay, so bling, I need to have bling. These are the glitter dots from the current annual catalogue, so I'm going to use some gold ones because we're going with our autumn theme colours. So what's more autumn than glittery gold? And I'll pop those around as well. Just over in that little area there as a point of interest there as well. There we are. And because I've done that just on a piece of cardstock, I will now attach that to our card base. And our card is done. So lots and lots of things to use. This is just a fairly basic card. I picked up my ribbons come off. I picked it up on Pinterest, the basic design. Very simple one. We're just playing with the elements to give us an idea of how they're going to work in the future. But I think I'll probably use this one a fair bit as, again, sort of nice autumn theme with our little leaves there. So, yeah, and the thank you is always handy as well. So, okay, so this is the Changing Leaves hybrid embossing folder and stamp set. So there we are. That's our two cards there. Changing Leaves, stamp set itself is really cute. Lots of uses for the leaves and things there. But then you add, as I say, the hybrid embossing folder with the dies and the cute, really nice embossing folder. I think I actually like that. That's probably the best part of the whole bundle to me. I love good leaf embossing folder. Lots of uses there. Anyway, so as a bundle available to customers early July, I think it's either the 3rd or the 5th. Everything seems to be happening on the 3rd, so I'm assuming it's the 3rd, although I don't know why the 5th is in my head as well. But anyway, so check online. There it'll pop up as soon as you know, sooner than you know it in that first week of July. So that's our thank you card. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. You've enjoyed seeing that little trick on how to get them all to stamp all at once with the little template, which is really what I wanted to show you today, as well as using our blending brushes to give that little bit of colour as well. So enjoyed that one. I hope I enjoyed bringing it to you. Hope you enjoyed seeing it. Remember, I've got those the Introduction to Card Making course bonus days starting in the first week of July, and the bundle sale ending next on the 30th, whichever day that is. Must be over the weekend sometimes. So anyway, great to see you all online this morning. I'll pop on again and show you something again on Saturday. But till then, have a great week, and I'll catch you during the weekend. Okay.